holy moly, holy moly. I hope this is working. Can I hear you? Can you hear me? I don't know what is going on. How is everybody doing today? I am mogging out with the Pit Vipers on. It is an absolutely spectacular day today. I hope you guys are enjoying all the sauce. I am going to try something new that I have not done today. So not only am I recording on YouTube, I am trying to simultaneously record for the podcast. And I wanted to wish everybody a good morning. So now that we have that out of the way, let us get into some things that are going on. Casa, they are known as a Bitcoin self-custody service, and they have just launched something that is very interesting. It is an inheritance feature for all of your cryptos in case you happen to have a bad day. What are you going to do with your assets when you pass away? It is something that will become a problematic issue for many people moving forward if they do not think about these things now. This is not an advertisement. This is just news that I came across. DYOR on it, but it is interesting and it is something that is needed. Next up, we have Bitcoin's near-term outlook suggesting absolutely bullish momentum with resistance this morning around $71,677. Support is down around $66,844. We have the RSI and bullish candle patterns on the 4-hour, which are really nice to see. I'm seeing upward momentum. We have chaos to clarity, noise to narrative. It is Thursday, March 28th, and it is time for some rare bits. Today, the Crypto Greed and Fear Index is down 3 degrees from yesterday. We're coming in at an 80. NFT sentiment is 55 degrees, up 2 from yesterday. We have a bunch of movement on the Ethereum blockchain. Top crypto search term is TokenFi. Ticker sign TOKEN. It is the second time on our list. It is worth investigating. We're going to do a kind of a scratch the surface on that toward the end of the podcast. It is up 106% on the 7-day. DYOR on it immediately. I think it is worth looking into. Top NFT search term is NFT rave. I do not know what that is about. It sounds fun. I will say that. Next up, Bitcoin dominance is up. ETH dominance is flat to down. Sales volume, we are going to get into that. We're going to run some numbers, so I'm going to skip those statistics now. We have 22 days to the Bitcoin halving. And before we get into some more news, let us check some numbers for the nerds. And to do that, we are going to switch over to, look at that. Okay, so as we're switching over to this, what is awesome, this is a website, and you can actually watch the Bitcoin blocks being mined. And I think it's, I don't know, it's absolutely entertaining watching the mempool hard at work. So as we are watching that, some of the numbers that we are looking at, I wanted to touch base on, before we get into serious numbers, we talked about this yesterday. There is a token that Machi Big Brothers is putting out, and he has generated a ton of funds. We are currently at 200,009 Solana. That is $38 million. That it's $38,943,000. So we're almost at $39 million in definitely less than 24 hours. So at some point, hopefully he will cap this. People have been just continuing to pony up and put in funds after funds. We have people that are putting in literally 1,000 Solana. Only in crypto. All right, let's look at some of the stuff. We are looking at the crypto heat map. On the 1 day, you can see it. We do have some green and some red. If we do switch this to the 1 hour, it is also filled with some green and red. What are we talking about? Bitcoin is currently trading at $70,789. Ethereum is tailing at $3,583. BNB is trading at $586, while Solana is trading at $185. Everything is turned green on the hour, day, week, and month, really, except for Solana. But it's just had this prehistoric rise. If you look at the month of Solana, we're up 68% on the month, where BNB, Ethereum, and Bitcoin 25%, 9.6% respectively. So not as much movement. So it's okay for Solana to have these retrace movements. It is not alarming at all. Keep your adventure pants on. Looking at some of the volume across the chains, I think what's interesting down here, if we look at some of the ETH active wallets and some of the new wallets that are in the ecosystem, we're up 11% on the Ethereum side of things. We are up 5% on the base side of things, and we're up 3% on Solana. Activity seems to be good, and I am actually going to, you know what, while I have your undivided attention and while you're here, I am going to pull up another chart because I just wanted to get a look at this. So I wanted to look at the current blockchain movement. So again, we are, oh, and look at that. So Ethereum and Bitcoin for the 24 hours are literally tied for $10 million in revenue, while Solana's coming in at about $7 million for the NFT side of things. It's interesting. Bitcoin is just on a tear. It's interesting to watch. I do think we are going to see Ethereum flip around. Looking at some of the NFTs in the ecosystem, this is the Ethereum side of the NFT map. Basically, everything is in the green, meaning we are up several percentage points across the board. What are we talking about? Top moving collections. We have Bored Ape Yacht Club, Azuki, Pudgy Penguins, and Milady Maker rounding out the top 5. Look at the volume on Azuki. They are up 246% on the 24 hours. This is all around the announcement of this possible token that is going to be released on Arbitrum with Azuki and Weeb Labs and Chiru Labs. So it is just interesting to see this stuff pump. Wow, the Azuki collection itself is up 331% on the news with 220 sales on the 24-hour. We have Bored Ape coming in at 12.71 Ethereum, and Pudgy Penguins are at 12.9. Cash value, we're talking about Bored Ape Yacht Club at $45,400. Pudgy Penguins currently trading at $46,100 as Pudgy Penguins are the leader in the race. Now, I am also watching the Mutant Ape Yacht Club. So it's funny, the Mutant Ape Yacht Club, they're currently trading at 2.43 Ethereum. That is about $8,000. And as the collection started to lose prominence or not lose prominence, lose its floor value, which I think is absolutely fine. I think it was exaggerated for far too long, and it has to come back down to earth. I think it's going to find a level somewhere. But what's interesting about this is, as the price was coming down, when Mutant Apes were still 8 ETH, people would say, oh, when they get to 4 ETH, it's a buy. It's an absolute buy. Now we're down at 2.34 ETH, and it is not a hot cake like you thought it might be. So is there still room for this to bleed? It's interesting. What I think is going to be interesting is, do we see little pudgies take over the Mutant Ape Yacht Club? That is going to be a dent in the armor of Yuga that will be tough to deal with. Looking at the heat map on the Solana side of things, we have some red. It's because Solana has been pumping. Sometimes these maps are not absolutely accurate. What are we talking about? Let's look at the top movers. We have Frog Anna's, Mutant Mon, Mad Lads, Tensorians, and Temple Farmer rounding out the top 5 collections. Is there anything we want to double click on? Not specifically. We are just checking out this stuff. I think the activity, a lot of it's been on the Bitcoin side of things. I just want to switch on the 1 day, looking at sales for the 1 day. Okay. I am going to double click on this. So Frog Annas, we talk about this all the time on the podcast. Frog Annas have done 13,700 sales in the last 24 hours. Has the floor price budged? Absolutely not. Still about $483. Same place it's been for the last, 3 weeks. The flow on this on this collection goes from about 4,000 sales in 24 hours on the slow days to about 13,700 on the busy days. So there has been some action on that. Interesting to watch. Next up, looking at the Bitcoin side of thing, where a ton of attention seems to be, which is why I am looking at Ethereum stuff. And I'm going to talk about 2 Ethereum collections that probably are absolutely ridiculous, but they're just 2, zig when they zag things that I am looking at. Top 5 movers on the Bitcoin side of things. We have Runestones, RSIC, Meta Protocol, Node Monkeys, Sense, and Bitcoin Puppets. Again, we talked about Sense for the first time the other day. There have been 2,000 of these sales in the last 24 hours. There are only 4 pending at the moment. Yeah, currently trading at 253 US dollars. The Bitcoin puppets are just shy of $20,000, trading at 19,800. Do we see the Bitcoin puppets continuing toward that one Bitcoin mark? That is kind of the talk of the town right now. They're just above a quarter Bitcoin right now. OMB is about 0.378, and keep in mind that is for their new orange eye collection. So the green and the red eyes are priced quite a bit more expensive. While we're here, I wanted to look at the Ethereum side of things. So on the Ethereum side of things, we had two things. I am just going to actually go right here. So we had San Fran, Tokyo. So these are currently, the floor price is 0.11 ETH. For the early minters or people on the guest list, so to speak, the price was 0.08. For the general allow list, it was 0.12 for mint. The artwork on this is really spectacular. It is, again, a mint on the Ethereum side of things, and all of the attention is on Bitcoin and Solana. Is this a smart purchase? The artwork is spectacular. The website is good. I am just going to click on the website just so we can get a taste of what they're doing. It is so the mint is done. The artwork is this anime-inspired Japanese stuff. It looks like a solid collection. So watching it mint out, I think it had not minted out when I went to bed. The other thing that is super interesting about this is right here, this Animoca Brands. Together with Animoca Brands Japan, and Blocked Out, SFT Studios via San Fran, Tokyo, from the internal strategic launch partners for the Anime Foundation. The foundation collaborates with industry experts and partners to build the largest open anime ecosystem, driving the global weeb and anime culture with the power of the manga token. So this is all of this manga craze, all of this stuff it's a big deal. And anything Animoca Brands touches to me is something that I'm interested in. I've talked about them several times. One of the things that I find really interesting about them is they have the Animoca ID. And this is an ID that when you're a holder of these assets, you have the ability to get involved with this Animoca ID. And last research I did, there were over 500,000 people that actually hold this Animoca ID. So if you think about this from a company's perspective or a marketing perspective, they have the ability to touch 500,000 holders instantly. And that is an enormous amount of power, especially in a small, blossoming ecosystem such as the NFT and digital art space. So I think there are some really neat things to watch. I ended up minting one of these. It has not revealed. And again, that's another thing. All of this anime stuff, this reveal time it tends to be, I don't know. There's another collection that I'll talk about super quick, and it is this right here, Personas. So Personas, this is a collection that it has fluctuated in price. I think it ran up to just shy of 0.5, so just shy of half an ETH. Currently, the floor is 0.31. I saw it dip as low as 0.27. Now, again, this is a collection where the artwork is absolutely fabulous. It's spectacular. I'm going to pop to the website right now. And some of the FUD that has surrounded this collection is, I think this minted, you were able to capture your token. It seems like it's been, I want to say 7 months. It hasn't been that long. It's been possibly a month. And in this ecosystem, that is a long time. So now we are getting a chance to look at the Persona website. Again, these guys are doing some interesting stuff. So I also hold one of these. And the problem that I'm wrestling with in my head is all of these things pre-reveal, the floor price tends to go up as FUD and FOMO sets in and people decide, I want to get in on this. The plan getting into both of these was, at that point, before the reveal, sell, right? Let the price go up a little bit and sell and just make a little bit of money. But I think the underlying story for both of these is so interesting, and the artwork has the potential to be really neat. I am probably going to become a community member, aka a holder that is going to hold through the up and write it back down. But we're going to see. Anyway, so I think those are some interesting things that are actually happening at the moment. And next up, I just wanted to, this is magical, okay? This is, if you go to privacypros.io, there is it's called BitBonkers, and this is just a live stream of Bitcoin transactions. And it's interesting. You get to see large transactions, and it's represented by these balls dropping, and it is mesmerizing, and it's better than watching a fish tank. I find it really interesting. And I think when I opened the show, I was just showing you guys this. These are the blocks being made, and this is also interesting to watch. And I am getting terribly sidetracked, and I apologize. But I do want to circle around to this. So the top crypto search term for the normies is TokenFi, ticker sign TOKEN. I wanted to pull up tokenfi.com. This is their website. This is not an advertisement. I am just doing some due diligence with you while I have you in front of me. I'm looking at their website. So they're bringing some things to the table. They're going to make creating NFTs utilizing artificial intelligence much easier, AKA for the normie. No coding, kind of point and click type thing. So I think there's some interesting stuff here. They are partnering with Base, Arbitrum, Blast, Ethereum, BNB. So they are creating solutions multi-chain. And this is, I did a piece yesterday on just real world assets, if you guys had a chance to watch it, and just how these are going to change everything. And in this space, we talk about gaming being the leader, which is going to be the driver of people into the space. I agree with that to some aspect. I think that real world assets are going to be the driver. I think gaming is going to drive the technical narrative and create better user experience with more compute power, because it's necessary for games to be seamless. And with that comes all of the advantages that better compute power brings. I think mass adoption is going to come when we start putting real estate contracts into tokenized assets, these RWA products. So this is something that is worth keeping on your radar. I absolutely think you should. And while we are doing this, I wanted to get into some news just to get you an idea of some of the things that I am looking at. So we talked briefly about, the Azuki floor price being up several 100%. So Azuki is going to be diving into anime with the whole anime chain thing. Apparently, they are going to use NFTs and games to revolutionize the whole anime experience. It sounds about as necessary as a blockchain for cat videos, but hey, who am I to judge? At least they're using Arbitrum to make all of this happen. It is going to be smooth for all of the anime fans, friction-free. Arbitrum is... We are going to see a battle between Arbitrum Base and Solana for the fastest, slickest, best user experience, best onboarding experience. So the races are just getting underway, and it's interesting watching some of these big collections select which blockchain they are going to decide to work with. So with it, Azuki brings a lot of muscle power. So they have a huge fan base, not only here, but overseas. So the combination of the damage that they can do is interesting. Their floor price it's a high price asset. So a lot of the holders tend to have a lot of crypto in their accounts. So those are the kind of people you want maneuvering around in your ecosystem. So it's exciting to see this happen. There is going to be a ton of FOMO around this anime token that is going to be launching, which is why this floor price has gone up dramatically over the last couple of days. But it is something that I will be watching. And we have VeChain out there, and they are going to try and democratize access to NFTs with this, again, another new no-code marketplace. So while we have TokenFi, right, doing the same thing, now we have VeChain. They are creating a marketplace for people that are interested in selling NFTs. So these no-code marketplace, this point and click, this better user experience, it is going to be imperative for onboarding. And here's an example. I started coding websites a long time ago, back when you were doing long form HTML and RSS, and before there were, but before you had the ability to point and click, you were actually writing the code lines. This was a long time ago. And when we got to what's called WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get. You put a box on the screen and it creates the code on the back end. That was just this amazing breakthrough, not only for coders to streamline their work process, but it was a breakthrough to entice new people to get into the game. And we're kind of seeing similarity with artificial intelligence. Yes, it's helping coders streamline the work, but it's also enticing new people to possibly get into the game. So these are advantages that everybody can take advantage of. It just depends on how you look at things. So watching VeChain, watching TokenFi, these are some good bets for things to have on your list. We also have the Cardano girls. They have been just kicking up a storm. They put out an awesome video. I am trying to actually get one of the girls to do a live space on Twitter with me. And the idea behind that space is we would be doing some onboarding and show people how to swap and bridge from chain to chain, what wallets are the best wallets to get, what are collections to look for, what makes that so exciting for them. If you have not seen the video, I recommend watching the Cardano girls. It's I don't know, they've cranked up over 1 million views. So it's exciting to see them just kick up some dust and bring some levity to that blockchain. On the bright side of things, we have Amazon. They just threw an absolute shit ton of cash to Anthropic. If you guys haven't checked out it's kind of the ChatGPT version. It's called Claude, I believe. Yeah, so look for more development with that. It's going to be interesting to see who wins this race. I think, you know, and if you think about it future forward, you have to bank on Amazon. And the reason I say that is because of the Alexa, right? And having this companion that you can talk to and ask the weather. And currently it's all used for simple, menial things. When it gets to the point where that becomes an AI that remembers your conversations for, let's say, the next 6 years, right? Think of the interactive nature that this AI will develop in dealing with you. It'll know when it will know when all these important things are coming up, and as it will become this place where you know, almost like a verbal diary over the years. And this AI will be able to parse through all of that stuff and give you relevant information on different ways to move forward in life, keep you motivated. I think it's going to be interesting. So I am making a bet, just thinking that Amazon is going to continue to kick up some dust with Anthropic. And I would not be surprised if we do not see that morphed into the Alexa app very soon. And speaking of lawyers, we have Vitalik Buterin out there. He is trying to fix Ethereum staking so the big guys do not have the power. So 2 things. One is we had Larry Fink from BlackRock go on record saying that he believes the Ethereum ETF is forthcoming. And what's interesting about that argument is that he thinks it's coming regardless if the SEC deems ETF as a security or not. He doesn't care. It can be a security, it cannot be a security. The ETF is coming. So that, in my view, is really bullish. If BlackRock says something is going to happen, it most likely is going to happen. Their hit and miss ratio on this type of stuff is just out of the park. So my guess is that we are going to see the Ethereum ETF. And I also think we're going to start to see these movements. And when price starts to go up and we really get into this bull market, I think we're going to see movement toward toward making these things happen quicker. I think the ETFs may come down the pike quicker than we expect once this momentum gets rolling. I think it will have a snowball effect to some extent. And in other news, a bunch of crypto peeps are joining the forces to fight big tech controlling artificial intelligence. It sounds like a superhero movie. But there are some groups that are teaming up to make sure that we have Bitcoin ETFs, Solana, Near, you name it. Basically, all of these cryptos are pumping. When I talk about these AI companies, so let me bring this up. Let me see if I can find this. So, and I apologize for this, but I believe, and this is interesting. So we have Fetch AI, Singularity Net, and Ocean Protocol. These are all AI affiliated tokens, and I believe they are all going to be merging into one AI super token. There's information on this in my Substack today. I urge you to read it. All of this AI stuff to me is absolutely super interesting. It will continue to be interesting, and it's something that you have to keep your eye on, because we know it's going to be booming. It is not going to stop, and I don't know. We're seeing these things happen. We've been talking about the price of Bitcoin and all these things going up, and now they're going up, and they're going to continue to go up. So you still have time to maneuver, get involved with this stuff. You just have to get off your ass and do it. The secret sauce for today is smart people learn from everything and everyone. Average people learn from their experiences, and stupid people already have all the answers. Remember, the rabbit hole runs deep. Still craving crypto clarity? Subscribe to my Substack today. Warning, rare bits may cause hodling. And like and subscribe. Like, it's super nice to do that stuff, right? Put the thumbs up button, subscribe, like, tell your friends. Every day I'll be doing this stuff. And what I'm trying to do right now is I'm going to try and see if this will go on the podcast. Because you know what I've been doing, like a numbskull? I do my Substack, and then I record a podcast, and then I try this video shit, and it's a lot of fucking work. So it's just me. It's just one guy. So I'm trying to lay it out there. Let's see. Let's see if this works. I hope you guys have a brilliant day. Enjoy the shit. Boom.